Good morning, everyone. Jim Laird joining you live from Dirioma, Nicaragua. I hope you're doing well today. We're going to jump right into the topic. Let me get live on Instagram here. Looks like we're live on Instagram. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. We're going to jump right in. I've got a coaching call here in about 20 minutes, so we're going to make this short, sweet, and to the point. I've been a big advocate of creatine for a long time. It's one of the few supplements I recommend. Creatine is mainly associated with strength gains, and then also filling out, like you makes your muscles hold more water and glycogen, so you're fuller. Helps with power production, strength. Generally, women tend to. I've recommended creatine for women for years, but they tend not to want to take it. A lot of my powerlifting girls would take it because they were trying to get stronger, and it does help you get stronger. But a lot of women kind of shy away from it because it does make you gain weight. It makes you, because you're holding more water in your muscles. And a lot of women, when that scale goes up, they're just not they're not very happy. But when you're on creatine, it just makes you look fuller. You look fuller. A lot of women, especially if they calorie restrict, they end up looking kind of flat, which I don't think is a good look. But now we know that creatine has, like, it's almost a nootropic. It has so many other downstream um, benefits that people, especially women, would benefit from, particularly women, because they don't, creatine is only found in like tuna and red meat. So when I don't work with that many vegans or vegetarians, but when I do, I worked with a guy that was originally from India who was a vegetarian for religious reasons. And I was like, dude, at the very least, like, take creatine, because, um, he wasn't getting any in his diet at all. So, but let's jump right into this research. There's a gentleman by the name of Dan Garner. I want to make sure he gets. I'm going to share the screen here. I want to make sure he gets all the credit. There was some clown that shared this post on his, took a screenshot of it and basically just read off his summary, which I'm basically going to do here, but we're going to give him credit. So he's a researcher, has, a performance researcher, and creatine supplementation in women's health, a lifespan's perspective. And he goes into the creatine demands during the menstrual cycle. Pretty awesome stuff. A lot of women really struggle during their menstrual cycle. And so he talks about, brain health, hormones, um, you know, women exhibit 70 to 80% lower creatine stores compared to men. So obviously, because women have less muscle, and generally women, I would assume, they eat less red meat, they eat less tuna, things like that. So they're not going to, and hormonal changes across the menstrual cycle, the demand for creatine changes throughout. So that's why, he recommends supplementing with 3 to 5 grams of creatine a day. Which that dose, you don't get a lot of the bloating if you go up and do loading. But he talks about during the luteal phase and estrogen peaks, creatine supports protein preservation and brain energy levels, helping combine mood changes and fatigue. So if you're taking creatine, you're going to have less fatigue, you're going to have less mood changes. Women are more likely to experience depression, particularly during certain parts of development. So creatine's been shown to help with that. So it can kind of take the edge off. And then women that are aging really should be taking creatine. If you notice that, oh, I went by it. How did I do that? Let's get it back. Page down, page up. But it won't let me. It won't let me go back up. Why don't it let me go back up? Oh, there we go. So, particularly for aging women, and this is great because there's not a lot of the research is not done with women. A lot of the research is done basically on men. So the fact that this research was done on women is great. But basically, I went to the next study on his page, circadian rhythm, and I should probably do a video on that too. But here's the creatine supplementation one. As estrogen climbs with age, muscle mass, strength, and bone density naturally decreases. Research indicates that creatine, especially when paired with resistance training, ladies, you need to lift weights, helps counteract these losses, reducing inflammation and supporting bone building cells. Uh, and he talks about how he's praised creatine and recommended it for a long time. And he recommends basically 3 to 5 grams daily. So women, don't freak out. Don't overlook this supplement because you're going to gain a little bit of water weight in your muscles. It's not like you're going to hold water like you're bloated. The muscle you're going to hold more glycogen and more water in your muscle cells. So thank you, Dan, for that great study. You can find links to his post on Instagram in the description below. Want to give him full credit for his research, and definitely he shares a lot of great stuff on his page. So if you're not following him, go right ahead and do that. So, but basically, ladies, you need some creatine, honestly. And it's especially women that are having problems with their menstrual cycle. It's a great way to kind of take the edge off and help you out without manipulating your hormones. A lot of people start, birth control, all sorts of other things. And creatine might be something that can help you kind of take the edge off of things and buy you some forgiveness. And then as you age, it's a great thing to kind of slow the aging process down a little bit, the muscle loss, the bone loss. So, and it's cheap. It's super cheap. You can go on Amazon and buy a big bag for, bulk supplements, I think. It doesn't cost that much money. So, and it's been studied for decades, and it's relatively safe. If you stick with 3 to 5 grams, you're not going to have any problems at all. I like to take it for like 10 to 12 weeks, then I give it a break for a couple of weeks, and then I come back to it. But generally, that's pretty common. So there you go. And of course, I've got my ladies group. If you want to come in and ask questions in the group, I've got a lot of great content in there. We'll probably be talking about this. We have a coffee call tonight. You can go to vitalitysisterhood.com if you want to join that. And then we've got my Vitality Brotherhood group. And for aging men, this is great too. A lot of research shows that it helps with cognitive decline, helps keep your brain working well, and it's a great nootropic. So just to sum it up, creatine, great. Men, women, I think women in particular would probably benefit more from it than men, because women just don't have the muscle mass that men do. So creatine would definitely be very helpful for women in particular. You just kind of have to get over the fear of the scale going up slightly. Over the years, I've had dozens and dozens of women actually gain weight and lose sizes. And a lot of people have a hard time understanding that. I had one lady who dropped 2 clothing sizes and gained 12 pounds. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "You've gained 12 pounds. You quit snacking on cookies and cakes and stuff." And my client was like, "I'm down 2 clothing sizes." She's like, "Yeah, but you weigh more." And the doctor could not understand that she lost body fat, essentially, right? Because and people get this confused. They're like, muscle weighs more than fat. No, it doesn't. It weighs the same. It's just muscle takes up less space than fat. So it's kind of like pound of steel versus a pound of popcorn or a pound of feathers. The popcorn and the feathers is going to take up more space. So like a pound of feathers is going to be big. A pound of steel is going to be more dense. So muscle is more dense than fat, and it takes up less space. And that's why if you build muscle mass, you will shrink if you're losing body fat. So have yourself a great day. Join the Vitality Brotherhood. Join the Vitality Sisterhood. I have a coffee call tonight at, let's see, what time is it at? I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern. And I have a call tomorrow with the men at also the same time in the evening. So love to have you in the group. It's totally free for now. And Vitality Brotherhood, Vitality Sisterhood, love to have you in the group. So have yourself a great day. Make sure you get outside.